What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we're just going to go over Opendoor today. Today we had FOMC, not a crazy day. The market was kind of whiplashing during Powell's speech, but I believe it ended green overall. Opendoor had a pretty good day though, up 14%, and we saw it tap 1079 and then sell off again. So basically, it's tapping these resistance supply zones and selling off, but the more we continue to revisit those, the weaker those supply zones get, and eventually we're going to break through those. I want to check out a few things today. Let's look at the weekly chart first. So, still a beautiful looking chart, breaking out, and we held our zones pretty well. We are approaching pretty significant resistance. 1139 to 1344 on the weekly is going to be a pretty good spot to break, and then from there our next zone will be in the 16 to 19 range. But with something like Opendoor, once the hype and momentum get behind it, we can really break through these barriers pretty quickly. And obviously $20 is where I see this thing going in the shorter term. I know there's some big price targets out there, but all-time highs is around that 38, 39 mark. So that's where I drew the fibs, and that's kind of like where we're getting our levels from. So just the swing high to swing low. So after 20, 24, 27, 30, that's kind of where we're at. Here's what I'm looking at the daily. A beautiful bull flag, and I do see we have a gap here. That is something to consider. That could get filled, but that wouldn't worry me. That would actually be a great buy zone. We've talked about it before. Not sure 641 is going to get filled, but here's what I see. If we do break out of this bull flag, I think we're going to coast right through this resistance zone, and then we'll probably get up to about 16 and reject, and this will become our new support. So that is what I'm watching heading into tomorrow for Opendoor. Moving on to the flow, it was going insane today. We had $20 million in call flow versus $3.6 million in put flow, and most of these are going to be targeted for 9/19, 10/3, and few out to like November and January, but seeing a lot of bullish call flow on this name, and so that's something to keep in mind. And then I thought this was pretty cool. So you have the new CEO talking about how they filed an 8K to say that Opendoor's X account and his account are going to be used to talk to investors, and they've parted ways with their former PR agencies. So they're just going to be straight up talking to their investors, and that could be obviously great for the stock and transparency. And a couple other things I just saw on Twitter. So 6% commission. They are, getting rid of their old model, and they're trying to revamp Opendoor. So this company does have a lot on the horizon for it. And then on September 15th, we saw an alert, a lot of whales loading up more open. So just something to be, mindful of. I do think that this thing is going to run. And obviously you have a lot of people on the Reddit, on Twitter after Opendoor, and expecting this thing to do some big numbers coming up here. If you just go on Twitter and search Open, there's a lot of good information on here. And I do believe that, a lot of people have conviction that long term, this would be a great hold. So, I'm going to keep watching it. I do believe this does hit $20 with some hype behind it. And then last up, just wanted to look at the insider trades. Now, this is according to Unusual Whales on Discord, so take this with a grain of salt, but it looks like the CEO is increasing his stake. So, if you look at the amount, he's up to, I believe, 81,772,688 shares. And then you have some people selling. Obviously, they've been in this stock for a while, and it was a penny stock. So now that they've 10x their money, they're probably selling and taking some vacation or something. But it's good to see the CEO buying. Maybe he's awarded that. I'm not exactly sure. And then this guy went from 100,000 to 457,000. And then this guy increased by 78,000. This guy increased by 98,000. So it's good to see. They obviously know that this stock is hype right now, and it's probably going to continue to run. But it's good to see the insiders buying as well. So Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just a quick one on Opendoor. Let me know if you are still watching this one and looking to get in or just holding a position. Please like and subscribe, and have a good one.